I'm Brian Molyneux. I started climbing when I was about 16 and a bit, and I'm now 78. Well, I was always into the outdoors anyway. My parents sort of used to take me out when I was a kid, just long walks and stuff. But I suppose it gave me a livelihood for a long time. I went to work for Ellis Brigham, so I was there for a long time. So yeah, it gave me a living. And you can't really consider it as a job. I mean, if you're doing what you like doing for a living.
Yeah.
The first route I did in the Alps was the Bran-Lahas. At the time, it was considered the second hardest alpine climb in Italy. At the bivvy, I woke up in my hammock and I had about 4 inches of snow on it. It wasn't in the days of rock boots, so I had boots on, so it was quite difficult climbing to get out of there.
Yeah.
There was lots of rescues across the Alps after that storm. With a guy called Leo Dickinson. Yeah. And we were good mates. We made a lot of films together from then on. From a bivvy ledge where we were on, 2 German guys died a fortnight before, similar circumstances. Storm came in. You can't reach the ground unless you had about 600-700 foot of rope, because it was completely overhanging. The whole route overhangs from start to finish, something like about 400 or 500 feet, I think. It's massive. Epics, yeah, sort of coming off the Matterhorn north face in winter. We had probably a 4-day storm, and we sat it out for 2 days at about 2,500 feet, top of the big ice field. We decided enough was enough, time to get out, and it was really hammering down with snow. Managed to get off, okay. Digging the snow hole at the bottom, big avalanche came. Buried myself and a guy called Eddie Birch in the snow hole. We were digging out. Eric Jones and Leo are unfortunately sheltered, but out of the main avalanche. They dug us out, and then we had to make our way further down out of this avalanche zone, and we just lay down in the snow, keeping each other awake all night, because I don't think if you'd gone to sleep, well, probably, we were pretty exhausted after 4 days and 2 days on one bivvy ledge, hardly moving. It's a good club, great reputation. You'll get some great climbers, some good climbers, some mediocre climbers. It doesn't matter, your standard you're climbing at. It doesn't matter the bollocks. Just get out and enjoy it. Good bunch of mates, having fun. Yeah, that's what it's all about.
Bob Beesley, my name is. I've climbed for 75 years. I only climbed because I enjoyed it. Did my first ascent when I was 18. It was at Osborne on Bottlerworth Buttress. And it's called Yob Route, and it's still hard VS. And we climbed it in nail boots with a hemp rope. No harness, you just tied the rope round your waist with a bowline knot. The only protection you had was chalk stones, which you put in cracks and tied a piece of rope round. First ascent of Gecko Groove on Cloggy, which is an E3, I think. And the first ascent of the Erg on Castle Kidoom, which is also an E3 still, I think. It might even be an E4, I'm not sure. Carvendel Wall on the Grocken. Did a lot in Gibraltar when I was in the army, but we never really recorded them. I think, is that enough?
Yeah.
Went to the Atlas Mountains in Morocco in 1959 on an army expedition, a reconnaissance expedition for the army. And I was a climbing instructor for the army in Gibraltar. I broke my neck in about 1964 in a motorbike accident. And I was in plaster from head to chest for 4 months. And 2 months after that, I did the second ascent of Taurus and Pinnacle Arete on Cloggy. It was the first climbs I did after I broke my neck. No, never had any scares or never fallen off except at Helsby, because I climbed what I could.
Yeah, okay.
Or what I thought I could.
Yeah, okay.
And I didn't feel the need to push it, no. I used to have fights and things at the Vags at Pontefract. It used to get a bit wild at sometimes, and they had these water fights, and it was the middle of winter and there was a water fight, and Pete Minks lost. So Pete Minks was outside, covered in water in January, piss wet through while we were all sat in front of the big fire. Anyway, Pete said, right, I'll get you bastards. So there used to be an outside toilet. There isn't a toilet like it was now, it was one of those Elsan ones, which was a bucket. So Pete said, I'm going to get you. So we was all sat round the fire. So Pete climbed on the roof with the Elsan bucket, right? And he was going to pour it down the chimney. But the roof was covered in frost. So he fell off the roof, slid down the roof, landed on the floor with a bucket of crap on top of him. Keep going as you are now because it's the best club in the country at the moment. A lot of other clubs are having great difficulties, but this one goes from strength to strength. And I think it's wonderful to have ever been a member of it.
My name's Bill Preston, and I first started climbing when I was 13 and a half years old, and I'm now 84. Friendships, commitment to each other, trust in people, excitement, and a good social life as well. I suppose the commitment thing, I tried to do a route in the Alps and we got stormed off it. We had to abseil. There was 4 of us. It took us nearly 8 hours to abseil down to the glacier. And then a couple of years later, I went back with Arthur Green, and we managed to complete it. But we were 50 odds. It's called the Fendo Spare. It's not that hard a route, but it's 4,600 feet. The worst thing that happened to me as adventurers, I was climbing quite well, think I could do, you feel you're quite competent to do stuff. And I was sold on some routes in Frodsham and didn't know the grades. I just looked at them, thought they were all right. And I got a bit stuck on one, fell, and I broke the ankle badly, which sort of messed a lot of my things up. I could not run anymore, couldn't stay as fit as I used to be. Just little things like that, but it was like a turning point, shall we say. I'm a boring you, darling. I'll make up for it. Just commitment. Commitment, not so much to climbing, but to the club. The club is so important to keep going. Just do your best to be a good member. That's what you want to be, a good member. What you give to the club, you'll get back tenfold.
Well, I suppose in the early days, mountain rescue was a very haphazard, very loose, organised thing. And if you happened to be around whenever there was an incident, you got, if you pardon the pun, roped in to help him sort it out. I used to get roped into all kinds right in the Ogwen area, and I was one of the founder members of the Ogwen Mountain Rescue Team. So my name's up on the board in the rescue hut and all that kind of stuff, which I'm quite proud of. It's much more professional these days. We were just a ragtag bunch of people, but we managed to get a stretcher together and all the ropes and Casbags and things. Yeah, Eskdale in the lakes. It's called Eskdale Buttress. And I did that with my mate Pete Swalton. He was deaf in one ear. It was a very windy day and he was leading and the wind was howling and the rope was bowed right out away from the cliff. And he wasn't taking in the slack and basically he didn't know that I'd started climbing. So I was climbing and it was getting neckier and neckier. It frightened the life out of me. And I eventually soloed that route. I climbed right to the very top and found him picking his nose and looking at the seagulls. Yeah, never mind upsetting people, just enjoy yourselves. And if it upsets people and you break protocol, so fuck, who cares? Just enjoy it. Come on, the bags.
Arthur Green. I started climbing in 1961 and joined the Vags in 1964. In the 60s, I've got a bit of history for you. You've probably never seen these before. Before with friends, before nuts, before wires, there was no protection at all. So we drilled a few holes in machine nuts and used those to stick in. Yeah, this one I used an awful lot, quite a big one. So that was my rack. I'm an introvert, very quiet guy, and it's given me confidence. So I really had found something that I found exciting, and I could do it. It was my sport. In 1965 was the centenary, the first descent of the Matterhorn. So I went over there, first time in the Alps. I'm going to do the Matterhorn, I did it. And then in '68, I was in Chamonix, met up with a guy from Sheffield called Roger. He wanted to do the Bonatti Pillar. And I thought, could I do that? And the guy I was with from Liverpool, he said, yeah, you could do it, come on. Pushed me with it. And we went up in the afternoon, nothing coming down. Bivouacked at the bottom and got almost to the top in the first day, as it were. I was always interested, not in standard, but in atmosphere. I like the big cliffs, spent days and days on clogging, and particularly with Bill and myself, we loved doing long traverses. We weren't interested in going for something really hard. It was always atmosphere. The next generation will always be better climbers than you. So just enjoy your climbing.
Noreen Hinton. Well, I joined the Vags in 1967. Then I met my husband, Dave Hinton, who was in fact club secretary for many years. And then we went off to India in 1970, overland, hitchhiking. And the idea was to go to the Himalaya. But then we went to Peru in 1991 and we climbed Pisco, which is a trekking peak. Fairly straightforward peak, actually, but nevertheless very, very risky because of the snow conditions are very unpredictable. Misadventures, well, being a really particularly bad person at putting gear in. I did try to lead once and all my gear fell out. But take care, basically, but please learn to put your gear in. Well, it's a bit corny to say companionship, but it actually is quite true. It is a whole way of looking at life. It's lovely.
I actually climbed up Plaza Brennan when I was 13 years old, and I absolutely loved it. Went up Snowdon, came back down. I thought, I love this, I love this. On a Friday night, I used to be ready to hitchhike out to Wales, and that's what we had to do because there were no cars. And you'd get there and you'd walk up the lane, to the cottage. Pete and I went out to the Himalayas, not intending to go up any big mountains, but I always wanted to see India. So we stayed in Delhi for a while, then manoeuvred up to Pokhara. We thought, well, we're here. Why aren't we climbing up to a base camp or wherever? So we bought a tent, bought some stuff, and off we went. No porters, no nothing. The rope bridges were terrifying. The rivers even worse. And you've got this bloody great sack on your back. And you're thinking, one slip and I'll be whoops, down the valley. We got up to Annapurna Base Camp, which a lot of our friends had died on, literally a few years before. The ice in the tent was 2 inches thick. So as soon as the sun came up in the morning, you had to be out because everything could be covered, I would have loved to have been climbing walls in my day, but it's a fantastic life. We're friends, we always have been. A lot of people here tonight I haven't seen in 5 years, 6 years, 7 years. And it's just like a good friend is one who you go, wow, how are you? And it's like seeing them yesterday. But it's 20 years gone by, and everybody holds each other up, and we're a family, really, a really good family. If you ever need help, shout, and somebody will be there.
Peter Whitehead, or Pete Whitehead, to everyone who knows me. I've been climbing since I was 15. 82 next month.
Jenny Black. I think I started climbing in my late 30s, 40 years.
Yeah.
Been in the Cairngorms twice this year.
Nice.
Walking, not climbing. Yeah.
Okay.
So I still get up the big hills. A hell of a lot to define it with freedom. And it's kept me very fit for my age. Freedom and just expansion. It's wonderful.
Amazing.
It takes you away from the everyday life. You're somewhere else, and you feel refreshed when you get back.
We were doing a traverse of the Picos from one side to the other, and we just wandered off the path. Went up an easy gully, and a long way up, and in the end, to get onto an easier way to the col we wanted, we went over the second highest peak which I can't remember the name of.
We didn't have any climbing equipment.
No, it was scrambling, not hard, but very exposed.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we dropped down, came onto the path we should have been on, but it was late then. We camped, found a sheltered place in a sheepfold or something, and have a tent. We stayed there in a thunderstorm, which was just away from us, to give us a good view of the lightning, but no rain reached us.
You had to
we
go
found a snow patch to get water, snow to make water for a brew, because we had one tin of sardines between us, which we had
Saved till
till
the next day. They were once barred from the Vic here.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yes.
What happened there?
Just riotous behaviour.
Okay.
Yeah. And there was a food fight here as well. And it looked like food growing out the walls.
Oh my gosh.
And we made these little sticky bombs with some sticky food on top in a little thing with fins, throw them at the ceiling. The ceiling in the dining room was, these things were hanging from it. That didn't get us barred though. Have fun. Don't be too serious about it. It can be very serious. But enjoy. It's about enjoyment and being free. So remember that, you young lads.
Yeah, nice.
I'm Bridget Glaister, and I have been into the outdoors all my life. Every weekend between Easter to bonfire night was camping at the weekends. I wrote a list of 10 people, 10 ways I could go climbing. And I thought, well, someone's going to say yes by the time I get to the bottom of the list. And so the first people said no, the second people said, and it was about the fourth person I contacted. He went, sure, come climbing with us during the week. We go on a Tuesday. And that's how I started rock climbing. So it's always been there, but it's been that transition from being a child with your parents to doing it yourself. Well, actually, I started fell running because of Pantyphon and wanting to run locally. I was really missing going to the top of a mountain, and that's where the fell running started. And then in 2015, I did the Bob Graham, and then just after COVID, did my first Paddy Buckley, which is the round in Wales, and then from there, the ultra distances started. So then I wanted to do the Dragon's Back race for so many years. I did the race, came second female, and really enjoyed the race and realised what I could achieve. I had no idea I could do that. Then I came first lady in Cape Wrath a couple of years later. And then I got the idea from seeing someone who had gone out and run the Dragon's Back race in a one. He's the only person to have done it, but he had a group of 30 people around him. And he ran from, it's from Conway Castle to Cardiff Castle. It's 230 miles in the official notes, but when I did it, it was a bit longer. And I can't remember the height. It's just countless. It's about 4,000 meters every day for 6 days of the race. But having watched him do it, I said, right, I'm going to do that. I'm going to be the first female to do it, but I'm going to do it solo. But then I realised I needed a little bit of support, so I needed someone to brew up and make my tea at the road heads. So I did it solo supported. No one's done it before. And I achieved my dream and finished in Cardiff and have made the history books in fell running because I am the first solo supported to have done it. And I think anyone who's done the race realises to do it that way is so much harder than to have people around you at all times. Pantyphon is so special. It's keep Pantyphon as special as it is now. I mean, there was a stage when we knew we needed to do up the hut, and all the members at the time, we all contributed 20, 25, 30 pounds a month, as much as you could afford, so that we had enough funds to do the hut up. And that sort of contribution made the hut really ours and special for so long. And it's the heart of the club.